Greetings, my fellow humanoid dwellers. I create videos on technology and other random things. If you like this video, you might like others. If you don't like this video, you still might like others. Consider subscribing to my channel or checking out my Patreon page. If you already subscribe, hit that bell. In this video, we're going to start to apply the temperature data to Canvas. I'm going to have to break this up into two videos. In the first video, it's going to be a little rough. We're just going to get it going. We're going to show the data in a graph form. And then the next video, we'll clean it up. I just don't want the videos to get too long. We're going to have to make one change to the HTML document, and we're going to have to change this section to a canvas. Most of the time, it doesn't matter what you name your tags, but in this case, we're going to specifically target something through the HTML browser, and it has to know what it is we're targeting. So we'll save that, and then we're going to have to make a change in the CSS, because now that we're no longer using the button, we can pretty much just make that go away. The way to do that is to refer to it as the tags. If you go back to as the IDs, this ID is a button and this ID is temps. Instead of targeting both the sections, we're going to target each one individually. So we're going to target the button. And the way you do an ID is with the hashtag symbol or pound symbol. And all we're going to do in this is we're going to say display none. And this is just going to hide it on the page. We're going to change this one to the pound symbol and the temps. And we're going to leave pretty much everything the same, except for I want to go ahead and give it a defined width of 800 and a defined height of 320. And I do have to put pixels in here, but everything else in this is just going to stay the same. So we're going to save that. For the PHP, we're going to leave that just the way it is, and now we'll make the changes in the JavaScript. When you're working with Canvas, you have to define your height and width of the object. I've had some discrepancies doing it in CSS, so I like to define it specifically in the function. The way we do that is we're just going to do it like we've done all the other ones. We're going to target it by the document and then getting the ID. And we already have it down here, so we can just copy it. And we're going to do the height and the width. And we're going to set the height equal to 320, just like we did in the CSS, and the width equal to 800. Now I don't want to have the range top to bottom to be 0 to 320. Instead, I want to target a range of 65 degrees to 95 degrees. If I set that up, that's 30 degrees, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each degree be 10 pixels. So we set our height at 320. That gives me about 20 buffer on each side. When I go to calculate that, I'm going to, since my bottom is going to be 65 degrees, I can take whatever I get and subtract 65 from that. But then I want to go ahead and multiply that by 10 so that I take that 65 to 95 30 degree range and make it a 300 degree range. And then, since I'm working in pixels, I cannot have the decimal point. So I'm going to go ahead and round it. JavaScript has a math function for that. After we've drawn the lines or the chart, every time we go to redraw it, we're going to have to clear it. We're going to have to erase the what we drew before. So we're going to have to put that in here. Once again, we target the ID. And here's where the canvas part comes in. I did a video a while back on this. And we're just going to clear a rectangle. We're going to start in the upper left-hand corner, 1, 1, and then we're going to go all the way across and all the way down. Now in this array, we won't be doing any of this now. We have to do it completely different. You can't put text in a canvas. Well, you can, but we're not going to get into that. So we're just going to comment these lines out. We're going to have to draw these in a series of lines. We're going to need 2 points. So the first time we run through this loop, we do not want to do anything. So we're going to say if I is greater than 0. That will just stop us from doing the first time through it. And now what we want to do is we're going to do 4 different lines. And I'm just going to cut and paste this first part here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to begin a path. And then when we move to it, when we move to the path, that doesn't draw any lines. And now every time we move I, because the first time we go through this, I will be equal to 1, we want to go 10 pixels over. So we're just going to do I times 10. And then we want the value that was stored in the previous location. So temp array, and then we're going to identify it as I minus 1. So the first time through it's going to get the 1 in the 0 spot. And now our next thing is to draw a line. And this time we want to go ahead and draw the line from the current spot 10 more pixels over. So we're going to add 1 to our current value of I. And we want to get the current temp array location, or the temp array value. And then the final thing you have to do is you actually have to tell it to draw the line, and that's the stroke command. We also don't want to execute this BR tag anymore. Now we'll save this. We're going to go ahead and upload it and see what we get. And we'll go ahead and refresh the page. You can see that it's operating as it was when we left off the last time. Now when I refresh it, this box should go away. This box should get bigger and not as wide, and it should start plotting data. And it's been 10 seconds, so I must have an error. Let me go see, make sure that I've got everything typed correctly. Temps. If you double click on this, it will highlight it all the way through to let me know that I have temps typed right. Get context, 2D, begin, oh, I've got a capital A. Go back and upload it and try again. Refresh. You can see this doesn't look quite right, but it might be just because we have got a bunch of garbage data. I'm not filtering out the values that are less than 10 anymore. I'm displaying everything. So here's a line that we have. So this could be our first point of data. If it holds the same, it should go straight out to here. Nope, it appears I still have something wrong. I'm going to go back and peek through the code again. It's probably down in this area, right down here. And the first one is just I times 10. That's what we want. Temporary I. Temp array I minus 1, the one previous. I plus 1 times 10, because we want to move it 10 more to the right. Temp array I. Appears I have a 1 in there. Change that to an I. Save this, and we'll upload it again. Aha, that looks much better. We've got a nice straight line, 1 through 10, and then we get to the real temperature. Like I said, now this should go straight off, but it should start moving to the left, which it does. So now I'm going to hold the temperature sensor, and we should see the line go down even more. As you can see, we're getting some very good data here. It's going down, and now I've let go, it's going back up. The only problem is, if you notice, it's upside down. So as the temperatures are rising, they're going down, which makes sense because this is 0 up here and this is 320 down here. So we'll need to invert that, and I think we're going to make it so we can record a longer period of time. So in the next video, we're going to go over, I think we need to go ahead and add it so we can have more data points here and bring it all the way out to the full 80. So in this video, what we did is we set up the canvas the way we want in the HTML. We set up the CSS, and we changed the JavaScript to make it so we could collect the temperatures and display it in a line chart. In the next video, what we'll do is we'll flip the chart so that it shows the data in the right orientation, and we'll expand it so we can get more data points. and we'll delete some of these lines that have commented them out. I don't like to delete them while I'm working on them because sometimes if you need to go back for reference or to check something, it's kind of nice to have them in there. But you can always change this. Instead of document.getElementById, you could just turn this into a console log and look at it that way. Or you could put a different div on there or a different section and put the data in there for reference. That's about it for today. Thanks for watching.